Come in. Let me get my graph. Yeah. You know, Gemo, it's no joke this weather here. Hey. Blessed day to all my brothers and sisters. I greet all of you in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I greet all of you in the name of Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. I pray that you are all well. Sister Sharon, I'm telling you, before I even start saying what I want to say, I think Europe doesn't know that they're having cholera. Because the diarrhea and the throwing up that we are seeing, my sisters and brothers, is in all people. Every household almost. I think it's cholera. They do not understand. But you know, I was telling my husband, I said, if cholera broke out and the malaria here in Europe, they don't understand it like in Africa, my brothers and sisters. The first time that they thought I had malaria, I had to go to their specific hospital where they have to do research, all of this and that. You have more respect for African doctor who is able to identify malaria without even blood test before. Hey, here. Na lab work. But anyway, we thank God for His grace and His mercy, is the one who keeping us, isn't it? Our lives are not in what we believe in or how we think life operates. Because most of the things that we think are good for us could kill us, but God has given us grace. And that's why when He opens our spiritual eye, we are able to see, oh, this is not good for me, because God reveals it and exposes it. But anyway, my brothers and sisters, today's video is something that I just want to talk about mothers, women. This can be mother-in-laws or daughter-in-laws. You know, marriages are falling apart in the world because of us women mostly. The pride of a woman will kill us. The spirit of pride in a woman is destroying our generation, literally right before our eyes. My brothers and sisters, when God gives a mother children, He calls them inheritance. It's a blessing, which means that mother is that inheritance is also another term of extension. Inheritance brings extension. What is extension? Extension is when God gives you children. At the same time, He blesses you with grandchildren. But for Him to bless you with grandchildren, that's not the first extension. The first extension is the daughter-in-law. So if you are a mother, God gives you a son, and that son marries. It's an inheritance that is going to carry an extension, because he's going to get a wife, and that wife is going to get children, and those children are going to marry. So the extension of family doesn't stop, which means there's generations of grandmothers, mother-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, sister-in-laws. There's a whole all of it. Like, it's aligned up the way God has created it. The problem is that mothers do not know their places when it comes to the marriages of their children. This is just the truth. Mothers do not know their places when it comes to the marriages of their sons. It's not even just sons, it's even daughters. You have mother-in-law who teach their daughters with the control they had in their own marriage. They also teach her how to be a control freak for her own husband. So this girl has got very bad ways from her mother's side. So the way her mother behaved for her father, now so she wants to behave for the husband. But if you look around, most mothers who give their children wrong advice, they are single women. Single, period. There is nothing like they are married or they have an example that you can look up to. No. They are single. Most mother-in-laws are single. They do not even have the right example. They failed at their own marriage miserably, disgustingly, shamefully. A woman that wants to fight with a mother-in-law cannot be a daughter-in-law and can also not be a mother-in-law. A woman who wants to fight the mother of the husband is not powerful. There's a difference between applying wisdom, and God allows it, If a mother-in-law is stupidly disgusting, even Jesus will allow something. If the family members, none of them will stand up and say, Mama, now your behavior behaving like an idiot, the Lord will send even a stranger. That stranger will just say, my sister, the Lord say you need to change your ways. So everybody needs to know their place, and there is no fight when your son gets a wife. I want mothers to know it's not like it's a fight. It's an extension. You should be proud that your womb has moved that far and deep. That it has opened that wide, like the Bible says, that God says, go out there in the world and do what? That's what Jesus says. You should be grateful and you should be happy. But instead, you are going Colossus. And then to women who are daughter-in-laws, getting rid of your mother-in-law is not going to make your marriage even more happy. Even if your mother-in-law is disrespectful and she's mean, empowering and promoting your husband to cut ties with his own mother, his own family, make him choose, is not a quality of a wife, it's a quality of a Jezebel. Because I'll tell you something, when I met Papa Rockefeller, me and Papa Rockefeller met so quick, so both families did not get time to know one another. We met with Papa Rockefeller and the Lord said, we shall marry within a year. It didn't take time. We started our family straight away. So I will not lie. It was not easy the first years when I met my mother-in-law. But she didn't know me. And of course, there were things I was hurt and pained about, and I thought, okay, I'll revenge her. But the way I love Papa Rockefeller, if I would ever want to revenge his mother, I would be hating my husband directly, because my husband has a wonderful relationship with his mother. And I am very grateful to God, because I see the way he treats his mother. I said, that's the way he will treat me. Then I am great. I am blessed and I'm thankful to God. And I won't lie, my sisters. He's amazing and he's great with his mama. For a son, his mama call him for everything. At first, in the childish world, I thought it's wrong that she needs my husband for help, for advice, information, doing things for her. But God is so great. He make me understand something. Like that's his mother. And imagine if he treats his mother like that. How is he going to treat you? So brothers and sisters, I wanted to compete at first because I thought he's my husband. Why? But that's his mother, and for me to have that same husband, that same mother has played a part. I cannot just take her life and her existence in her son's life just like that. Do you understand? She was there before me. So for those daughter-in-laws who get to be pained by their mother-in-law and that you never want to forgive her, how do you take your underwear off and sleep with the same man? Where the same woman you hate is the womb that brought that man. I couldn't. And I also learned from my mother. My grandmother was difficulty. My grandmother was difficulty, even for me, her own blood. I would have never wished Kwawe to be my mother-in-law. My grandmother was so difficult, my brothers and sisters, that it is my grandmother who made my biological mother. My mother left her children. She got tired of her marriage, not because she didn't love my father. My grandmother is the one who managed to finish the marriage. And the reason why she managed to finish the marriage is because my mother allowed it. She allowed it. Instead of allowing God to show her that he didn't make a mistake by bringing her in that marriage. My mama, my biological mother, she said, I am not taking this. Even when her children were there, she said, I am not taking this. She left. That's why I always tell people, I have so much respect for my mother-in-law, for my stepmother, I mean. I have so much respect for my stepmother because my stepmother stayed and buried. No, Kwawe died later. My stepmother died first. My stepmother took care of my grandmother in times of walking, health and everything, and also changed her diaper while she was still cursing her out. My grandmother learned to stop fighting my mother and started to love my mother more than her own son. And there is nothing that you could have said about my mother to my grandmother. It became like a switch that it almost seemed like she's snitching on you. Like we were not her family. But today, I understand even much better. Hello. I understand something. My mother loved my father. If it is true love, you love the man. The only thing and intention you long for and desire for is peace. So you also help the man to carry peace. You are not the helper of destruction or destroying his family. No, you want to help him. You want to guide him in love with his family. You want to show him kindness. And you also want to be patient with his family. So if his mother is a problem, you forgive her. You forgive her and you show her a way that she has never seen before. But you don't compete and want to destroy the family because it will not help you or benefit you. So I want to tell mothers, I've seen a lot of women, and also to American women, American black women. Sorry, my sister, let me turn this thing around. How I go turn it? Especially black American women, when they are mother-in-laws. I've seen a program called Smothered. Sister Shaun, there's a woman your age. She has a son-in-law. The inappropriate relationship she has with the son-in-law. They brush teeth together. They sleep on the same bed. They do all of that. The reason why some mother-in-laws cannot be mother-in-law is because they want to be the daughter self. Especially when they have no man. A mother who have no man is interfering in your marriage. You need to ask yourself, where is your mama marriage? What happened to your mama marriage? You are not bringing people down. What happened to your mama marriage? God created us women to stay in marriage, strong and mighty. Because if you look at the story of Abraham and Sarah, the same God did not give them children. And in their marriage, Abraham had children with Hagar, Grace. And a lot of you think marriage, you know, the woman of these days, if it's not the mother-in-law, it's the daughter-in-law. You think marriage is old-fashioned. You think marriage is overrated. We think marriage is a joke. The women that tell you marriage is not life, is not anything, they are the most miserable and lonely women, lying to other women so they can get them to the same destructive force like them. Look around you. She has all the freedom in the world, but secretly she's crying by herself because she cannot even understand how she got where she is. So there's something dangerously with us women, and it has to change, my brothers and sisters. We have to reach a point where we have to grow up, especially women. I'm talking to women. And men, we are easily manipulated by women. I know every woman, especially if your mother-in-law is difficult. You intend to look at your husband and you say, if you love me, then you're going to shut her out. My brothers and sisters, in anger, that's why the Lord says, be angry, but do not sin. When you are angry, she did something wrong, you have to find a way to forgive and let it go. You can't move with that hatred and anger like you're a witch. That's not godly at all. I'm talking to women of God, mother-in-laws and mothers who are women of God. Hello. So you have to forgive. You have to let it go. And you have to start helping the family to heal and become even more closer to each other. But women who tell men, if you love me, then you're going to stop talking to your mother, then you're going to cut her out of our life, even if she did something wrong, it's not the right to cut her out. And if you have grandchildren, it's a shame if you're keeping grandchildren from their grandmothers. It's a shame if you're keeping those family children from the women in the family, your sister-in-laws. Because at the end of the day, the extension is not between you. It's between you. It's between them and the person that is coming from their side. So which means we have to respect. And I'm so tired of a generation of women who are so mean at the moment. All they do is tell women. A lot of women, even here in Holland, is very common. Women are the reason why parents do not get allowed to see grandchildren. manipulated and very naive, and that's so wicked. If you love me, you're not going to be speaking to your mother. That's witchcraft. If you love me, you're going to cut your mother out. If you love me, you are going to warn your mother. Now men who are foolish, they even start to move like idiots. The same woman where you came out of the womb, God even said respect your parents. If your parents disrespect you, make sure that your hands are clean so that you are not blamable, so God can come and shame them that they were the ones who are the adults. No, you have men who are very weak in this generation. They really listen to their little women. Don't talk to your family. This boy listens. But I also want to say this to men. As women, because we go for period, is something that man will never understand. We can tell you stay away from your family, but let me tell you, you cannot tell a woman to stay away from her own family, which is very demonic and evil. She gets you to hate your own family and carry burdens and grudges. You have grown up with that family. Me, Papa Rockefeller, cannot keep me from my family, because me and my family, we know each other, our good ways, our bad ways. Me and my sisters argue, fight, disagree, agree. But love, oh my God, and that blood, you can never wash it off, and you can never wash it. So it has to just reach a point where even some men have to stop listening to everything. Him thinking he's keeping peace, listening to something stupid and useless from a woman. But along the way, let me ask, the same woman, if you divorce her, isn't it a shame? Because when you go back to your family, I don't wish divorce on anybody, but the same women that we are trying to tell you stay away from your family, if you divorce them, what happens, my sisters? Let's be truthful. Brother Elvin, tell me, my brother, it's the shame of a man that you have to put your tail in between you again, turn around and go back to apologize to your family. And then now the same family is going to help you to fight that same demon. That's what is happening to a lot of families. It's a shame. Oh. Me, I can't, and I tell my children every day. I say a woman that comes to separate your family is not from God. Because even my mother, my mama with my grandmother, she did not separate the marriage. She did not ruin the marriage. She tormented it. But my mother never revenged like that. And if my mother would have revenged like that, then there would have been a lot of evil out. But I saw it. It's my life. My grandmother was not that kind and loving to my mother. But my mother changed her ways. I saw my mother receive Jesus. She carried the ways of Jesus Christ. And because it was about marriage and she loved her husband, and because she feared God and she understood what marriage was. She did not want to make my grandmother, literally my mother could have kicked my grandmother out. That's how bad she was. Because me, I'm not my grandmother's daughter-in-law, but her own blood. Me and my sisters, we used to give her whooping. We used to take me and Valeka, when she take us to the bush for whooping, we never used to whoop each other inside the house, because the landlord would come and tell my father, especially when he was in Mazabu. So she had what we call Munda, garden far away from the city, from the neighborhood, I mean. So when we go there in Ngombe, me and my sister, we used to beat her. We just didn't like her mouth. And we used to tell her, even how she treated our mother. We told her. And with me, who brought my mother in the marriage, who God used for me to meet face before she met any of my brothers and sisters, I told her I would beat her. And we used to deal with her. But for my mother to never raise her hand and beat her up, God is great. God is full of grace and mercy, and may God bless my mother, because even me, when it came to, it was my grandmother, that's why I slapped her. I'm not proud. But even her own blood won't deal with her. But I thank the Lord, because even me, a savage, when I married Papa Rockefeller, mama tried me on left, right, center. Hoi, gaat goed?
Ja, met jou ook.
Goed hoor.
Hey, sorry van die film, hè. Ik weet niet of want we hadden een verkeerde film opgezet.
Ja?
Ik had uw man nog een beetje een berichtje gedaan.
Is goed,
via
hoor.
Parro. Hij had mij een berichtje gedaan.
Is
Oké?
goed, hè?
Ja, het was gisteren al. Ik heb je man gisteren ook gezien, maar ik was het helemaal vergeten te zeggen.
Is
Maar hij heeft het al
goed, hè?
gelezen. Dus...
If it's an accident, my sister can gebeuren.
Ja, sorry,
Yes.
want ik vond het echt vervelend.
It's okay, my sister. Yes. En gefeliciteerd ook. hè?
Ja, dankjewel.
Yes, ik heb gehoord. Peter is zo blij.
Ah, zo lief.
Ja, wij zijn blij ook. God bless you. hè. Ga niet afaan.
Nee.
Die is nog steeds binnen. Met Rinaisje.
Ja, ze komen naar buiten hoor.
Of course, he gonna take his vriendin.
Allebei.
Let's wait, they are coming out. I just have to tell the truth. Even if my mother-in-law did not accept me, we are different race, different background and culture. When I just met her, she tested me, she tried me. But today I'm telling you, my mother-in-law will tell you that she feels safe and she knows that if today she has to leave the world, she knows that her son has married a woman who builds a family and not destroys it. So whatever happens, me, I'm always rooting for my husband for love because I saw it from my mother. My mother had an opportunity. She would have beaten my grandmother up. But not even one day. Not even raising a voice. Not even talking back. Never. Never. Everything was love and respect. I'm telling you. Doei. Hoi, nicely. Ja.
Oké.
Hoi, Peet. Move. Hoe was het? Capuchon op.
Maar oh ja, deze is gewoon dicht.
Waarom is je tas op?
Kunnen jullie wel eerst naar mijn huis gaan bij Tillem te pakken? Want mijn moeder vindt het soms niet fijn als ik bij mijn Tillem mee naar school ga in mijn tas doe dan.
Wat bedoel jij? Moet ik jou naar huis brengen?
Ja, om mijn Tillem te pakken. Want mijn moeder vindt het niet fijn dat ik mijn Tillem meeneem, dat het in mijn tas is. Dan wordt ze bang als iemand gaat stelen dan.
Wil jij mee met ons naar mijn huis?
Ja, ik ga naar jullie huis, maar dan wil ik wel eerst naar huis mijn Tillem pakken. En dan ga ik naar jullie huis.
Okay, guys, let's finish. So, at the end of the day, I am grateful, Brother James, and that's really a wife. A wife is not how she looks or how she talks. It's her character, how she behaves, who she is deep within. And that's why you will see there are a lot of women, they have had lives that are not clean. And their mother-in-laws have tested them. And this girl used to be a stripper. Even strippers themselves who have mother-in-laws, you will see the respect. It's unbelievable when I see women who stand up to the men, to the women who give birth to their husband. It's a shame because I've done a lot of things in my life. I've gotten into physical fights. I'm not like Sister Sharon who's never gotten into a physical fight. I have. And I have my brothers and sisters. I have fought. Yes. If I could slap my grandmama, you need to know that I was a child. It means that there was no filter. But there are certain filters that you cannot do. Your mother-in-law. For what? How? It's not even possible. Dankia, it's not even right. And any woman who feels proud to slap your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, that they are afraid of you, that they are scared of you, you are a demon, you shouldn't be proud. Because let me tell you, not every... Kijk out! Not every one of you shall even live to the age of the people you torment. And that's why in the old days they used to respect their elders. They were blessed. Look at how we are cased. Come on, Abina, Pete. Wait, let me make them sit inside, brothers and sisters. They were blessed, not in this generation. And I thank the Lord that no matter how bold and aggressive I was and how I could walk, I'm thankful to God that not one day did I ever think I'll whoop Mama Mine. David, better you're not sitting well, you need to sit on the chair, right? Come up now. And you can play I can carbon nature food. And close your back, Pete.
Dat kan niet.
Jawel.
Er zit stof vast wat er niet naartoe gaan. Die zit van mij los. Die zit aan mijn
Play too much.
onder de grond.
Let's go, guys.
Eindelijk. Wacht!
But you see, put your hands inside, don't play. I'll get vexed with you. Oh, try again. So I'm grateful to God that no matter what, I had somebody who raised me and lent me to respect. And she gave me an example because my own grandmother was not such a good example of a mother-in-law. But my mother showed me an example of a good daughter-in-law. And when I found myself in my marriage, I faced those challenges. But by the will and the grace of God, you will not believe how close we are with my mother-in-law by now. And I'm thankful to God. And yes, my sisters, I love Papa Rokafera. Papa Rokafera is such a good man for me. Yes, sister, I take him any day. Yeah, thank you, Vil. Thank you, eh? Cheers, my brother.
Wat je ook goed kan eten voor mij.
And because it's a marriage and we have such beautiful sons, and my sons love their grandmother, I wouldn't want to sit there and talk bad of their grandmother. These boys love their grandmother, and their grandmother has, it also made me, you know, sometimes when we are looking at mother-in-laws, we usually just want to call them out for their mistakes, isn't it? We usually just want to speak of the things that they do wrong, but we never appreciate them for the good things that they do. I had to start remembering that my mother-in-law has been my biggest support system since I came here to Europe. The whole family might have not been the people to help me, especially in the most darkest hour. The same mother-in-law was the one that was driving with her husband. And my parents-in-law, my brothers and sisters, they are not young. One is 87, one is 85. So they are older. But I remember, even in those times, Papa Rokafera Mama and Papa, they came. They were there helping me at the hospital, even when I was having issues with my pregnancies. I might not have a lot of family to visit me, but at least from my husband's side, his mother and his father came. And it was not even an easy drive. It was a 2 hours drive that they had to drive from Rotterdam to Veldhoven, I believe. Yes, Veldhoven, where I was admitted in the special hospital where if children are born cremated or mothers are having difficulties with pregnancies that go into labor every second. She came. One of you has to get out, we walk. Oh.
Ik kan wel. Ik kan.
It's tiring, oh. Sisters. Sister Sham, body not firewood. Even with the machine.
Ik ga wel lopen.
The two of them are heavy. They are not light, my sisters. No light. I told the engineer, and he eat meat. He's a meat eater, this one, so he on probation. Je moet niet van die andere kant uitkomen, skat. Je kan niet van de weg van de straat. Dat is gevaarlijk, liefjes. Wait, sisters. Peter, jij ook?
Ik ga lopen. Oh, ik ga
They are
lopen.
carrying weight. Nee, allebei met Peter, hij kan ook helpen. Yes, let's just walk here. My sisters, Peter, come this side, I'll do it. Huh? Kijk out, Pete. This side. Walk the other side with me, nice.
Kom Peter, goed hier.
Walk. Loop. In the side can't come on. Don't loop. It's a bridge, my brothers and sisters, this one. It's no game. When you are coming on the bridge, no, my sisters, electric or not, it's heavy. Those who know how to bike, sisters, you know what I'm talking about. My brother Elvin, I told the Lord I don't want to do any physical workout. So whatever way he can give me spiritual workout, I will take it. You know the Lord, they keep me, eh? He helped my weight, my metabolism, Sister Sharon, my metabolism. Brother James, Simeon, the English has said that the Lord helped my metabolism, my blood pressure, my low pressure, my anointed frequency pressure. Did they fill me up? You get it? Yes. My brother, I'm not the gym type. Brother James, since I come here to Europe after playing with my African friends the first year, I was fat. I've never been so big in my life. Sister Sharon, Brother James, I joined Basic Fit. Or is it Fitness Center now? No, Basic Fit. That place is at a mall. It's actually there. Down the bridge, the other side. I joined the gym. You know what type I was doing? Wait, let me testify. Come on. Back in. Go in.
Dat er nog in een beetje.
Nee, kom, we gaan naar binnen. So my brothers and sisters, now so the devil told me go and get flat tummy. I was insecure. And you know when African sisters are meeting in the diaspora here, they want to wear small little majorine skirts like this. But your thigh is overflowing. It's not even overflowing, overflowing. It is steak. It is blast out. It is rotten. Now so I joined that gym, my brothers and sisters. The devil is a liar. I think I only did 4 weeks maximum. The first week I went and I would only use one machine because I also didn't know how to start the other machines. But the demon that was next to that place is where the KFC is as well. It's next to the gym. So what I would do is, I look on Google, they say, check your calories. This is how they are killing my sisters. I check how many calories you eat. Now so I Google KFC calories. God, they might think I'm lying, but it be true. Now so I Google calories. God tell me 200, 1,000 chauti calories. Now so I go in the Basic Fit. Put that machine, you know, the one that you walk on, and they start to go fast. You know the one I'm talking about, Sasha? The one that if you're not careful, you could lose your mouth and your teeth, and your lip could be blasted out. It could be breakage like that. Scarface. My brothers and sisters. Now so I go first in the KFC. Jimam on one machine. I convince myself. Mumu. If I do on 5A, I said these are the calories I need. When I finish, Sister Sharon, you know about this story. When I finish, I go in the KFC. I go chop hot wings, fries, and that coleslaw salad that KFC they give. You know the coleslaw for salad, for KFC. The cabbage salad. Now so I take. If I don't take that, I would also add a corn, you know. The corn from KFC is number one. It's got a certain light to it. I don't know, and it's very sweet. So I eat, and I would wash it out with a milkshake, banana or vanilla, my favorite flavor. Now so I go back home. My father I say, you gym? I say, I gym. But my husband started to notice every time I went to the gym, there is a bill at least of 20 euros, KFC. He didn't trust. So he told me, David, better close the zip there. There, on your side. Yes. So Papa Kafeda and I saw he advised me, babe, maybe before you go to the gym, you need to start running. Brother James, that's when I knew that I thought I had to tell myself, you know, when you get out of your own body, you make yourself sit there and say, you, myself, you, I'm talking to you. You come from Kaunda Square, stage 1. Your papa ever gym? I said no. Your mama ever gym? I said no. Your brothers, they gym? I said they were liars. In fact, one of them almost died trying to try this gymming. Only one of them, John, could gym. The other one, the late Sal, may so rest in peace. That one was just a cowboy. Not a bodybuilder. That was a cowboy. It time my papa blood pressure. My brothers and sisters. So I said, okay, I will stop going to the gym and I'll start running. The day that I stopped suffering over how I looked, and I told myself, you have always, since you've been in Africa your whole life, you've never worried about this nonsense of appearance. That day, the thing that touched me the most to cause me to stop, my brothers and sisters, it was the fact that, let me tell you people, wait, let me tell you. One day I wake up in the morning, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for a run. Brother James, in my street there are 3 big flats. I started running. I left the first flat and I reached the 3rd flat, and they are so close to each other, they are no fun. My brothers and sisters, I told Papa Kafeda I'm going to train. I put even training. Papa Kafeda is a good man still. He bought me all the working equipment. That day was the last day that I think the Holy Spirit said, my daughter, you are looking like Mr. Ib in a woman. And Mr. Ib is supposed to be a man, not a woman. I deliver you. Like he said, Pharaoh, let my people go. And so the Lord said, I shall be free. I wore my gym clothing, went out, ran from the first to the last flat. My brothers and sisters, the last flat I reached there, Brother James, I didn't even carry wood. I felt like I was going to die, mouth dry, chest running like it's about to erupture, explode. I said, yeah, blood of Jesus Christ. I turned around and I started coming back. I will never forget the laugh on my husband's face. I said, I am back. My husband said, you ran from where to where? I said, babe. Brother James, Sharon. I'm sorry, I have to cry. This is something that, forgive me, my brothers and sisters. I know I was sharing a very important matter, but let me tell you, that's why when you are smoking Igbo, in fact, I shouldn't forget. The time that I even prepared to go and run is just when I just finished smoking a joint. I had smoked a joint, so I think I was high. The Lord said, if we do not kill her, out of breath to kill her, let me save her. My brothers and sisters, Sister Sharon, that's why I come back. My husband laughed. My husband laughed. He asked me, so you run, baby? I said, yes, I run, baby. And he told me, oh, okay. So from where to where? I said, from our flat to the last flat. Yeah, my husband could not stop laughing. And I was high. But you know, because, oh, that's why the Lord is making me understand. You know me, I was living simple life. If I smoke my joint, I'm living my life. These girls I started to hang around with, they start to give me headache. They start to give me pressure for nothing. They start to make me feel like I need to fashion up. You see now, I and I, ganja man, they begin to run. Is they say one joke, I and I, when you are high, don't joke. Rastaman, drink water and cool down. Now I say so. Ah, my brothers and sisters. Wait, let the little girl go and get what she needs to get.
Welkom. Welkom home, Rinashley.
Come on, Rinashley.
Welkom home. Welkom home.
I had to cry, my sisters. This story, I'll never forget. I was really serious.
What Georgie picked?
And that's why the gym didn't work, because if you are high, you gym. Your adrenaline makes you feel like you have lost a lot of calories. And you get the munchies. You know, those of you who are blood before, you know what I mean, the munchies. The munchies is when you are high. Food tastes like heaven. You feel like you enter the kingdom of God. Yes, the devil is a liar. That's how Igbo make you feel. So you start to eat everything, even your motion. People might be looking at you. You are eating like this. But in your mind, you don't feel like you are doing like that. That's why Igbo is not for everybody. Because they are professional Igbo smokers. They go to the gym. They even joke. I don't know if they're joking with Bob Marley or Obin Man, but either of the two. I don't think those men are sportive men. Yeah, those men are not professional chokers. Those are professional smokers. That's why the one who wanted to say, I want to have the Bob Marley diet. They told him, do you know what is the diet of Bob Marley? Igbo. I and I, Bob Marley, don't eat. But he wake up in the morning, he have ganja cake. I and I, Bob Marley, don't drink anything. He drink Rastafari green juice with a little bit of gang. Come on now. So let's finish the topic we're talking about. We're waiting for the little girl to pick up something. You know, they already made an appointment. They want to see each other. You cannot stop it at all. And I'm even used. I think I should just put myself in my mother's shoes. Because it was me who was bringing boys from school and my mother had to feed them. So I'm going to be very, very receptive. Let also my home welcome girls. You get it. You give. You receive, but you also got to give. And you give and you receive. That's the way it is. You take and I go have to give out and receive. Anyway, as I was saying, so I am grateful despite this whole woman with drama and all these funny stories that you hear about me. I'm grateful to God that He kept me in peace and He kept me composed. I didn't lose myself, I didn't lose my temper, and I never raised my hand on my mother-in-law. And because of that today, me and my mother-in-law have a wonderful relationship. And I know woman to woman, she even knows that this is the type of woman that came to, here in Holland it's very common. If the daughter-in-law fights with the mother-in-law, they convince the husband, you stop talking to them. Me and my mother-in-law have had a lot of ups, downs, especially downs. We've had a lot of them. But one thing she knows, and I think she respects me about, is the grandchildren. She will never have to beg. And these grandchildren will never have to hear anything from my own mouth bad about their grandmother. No. And I am always going to be thankful because my mother-in-law is somebody that who herself, her life, she has been through a lot, but what she has done is amazing. You can go through a lot of pain in life. It's a choice to come and portray love out here. You could have been hurt. It's a choice to take that hurt and turn it into love and forgiveness. So to all the people who are having difficult mother-in-laws, it's just now. You don't know where your life is going? Look at me. I felt alone, I will not tell you. I felt alone, I will not lie, especially when we started the first 2 or 3 years. I felt alone, I felt like my own family is not here. And my mother-in-law loves her son. And I thought they are too close. But when I look at it now, God, please, I also want a son who's going to remember me like that. Because if no matter who forgets my mother-in-law, she knows that she has a son who remembers her. Even if he does not visit her, he calls her, he speaks to his mother every day. Thank you very much. He visits her. He calls her, every day. I don't even mind. And I love it. And they're always sharing. She cares. It's not like he's an old man, mama's boy. No. She's still a mama to her son. Wanting to know how he's doing, how she can be helpful. My mother-in-law, and that's her last born. I say myself, you see the way I am with Apostle, you never know how it's going to be. That's her last born. She shopped for him. In fact, I love it. I always tell her, say, whenever you feel like shopping for him, just shop for him the way you shop for your husband, girlfriend. And the way they sit down and talk with one another. I admire that relationship. I pray that even from these 3 sons, one of them is going to remember me in old age, like the way Papa Rockefeller remembers his mother. A lot of mother-in-laws are depressed out here because daughter-in-laws have kept the children of the mothers away. I wouldn't do that. Oh. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. And I don't even think I would live with myself. Maybe my weakness is that I could have smoked a joint in my life. But I could not be spiteful and resentful. Peter, you are not going to start playing in the house, alsjeblieft. En je gaat niet pakken wat niet bij jou hoort.
Tante, ik had mijn ding gezet ergens en het ligt in de bakfiets. Ik denk dat het ligt in de bakfiets.
In de tas?
Ik had het niet hier gezet. Je legde hem ergens neer, maar uiteindelijk zag ik dan...
Here, bring the tas inside.
Deze je dat we stukjes mochten doen.
Ja, zet de tas binnen. That is her tas. Don't play in the house. I don't like that, baby. Sneller dan.
Tante, ik had alleen die tic-tac laten zien aan jou. En ik had die ding hier gezet, maar Peter was nog steeds in de keuken. Maar die marshmallow ding was opeens weg. En Peter zei dat hij het niet had gepakt.
Laat het is goed. Je gaat zo truc laten vinden vanavond. The 2 best friends, my brothers and sisters, you just have to have patience. The sister came in her house. She's collecting snack and food there. She also wants to feed him. I know what she's doing. That's what I did with my friends. That's what it is when you got a G. They actually tell their mama when he's preparing lunch for you, say, Ma, put some extra for my friend. Yeah, I used to tell my mother, put something. I just never used to like to share with the girls. The girls were always like witchcraft sharing. The rice comes from your house, but you tell somebody else, act like this lunchbox is from your house. I say, why you do that? I saw other people will not be eating my rice. I say, let me leave this for this. Let's go, boy. Hey. Ja, moet de tas van die nice uitslaten, skat. So, my brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, I am grateful because today, Neskacha, thank you very much. I'm grateful because I did not ruin the relationship completely. And I did not allow the devil to come up against me and my mother-in-law, because today, she's the grandmother of my children. And to the grandchildren, my hero, you cannot say nothing about her. And let me tell you, I can't lie, my children, especially because now my mom be the last born, be the last one who they sacked from her titi. So they are also extra special. They are sport. They are sport. Even sometimes I always tell my mother-in-law, I say, in the wheel, the future where we're going here, just put David, John, Peter. Yes. Leave alone, and you know how God is so gracious. These boys are the people to carry the name of my husband. My husband, they didn't have the people to carry. He was the last one to carry this name. So the 3 sons grow my family, the family of my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law, even she looks at these boys, she knows that her name and her husband's name will live through these children. Dav Peter, close the thing. So don't cut your blessings out before you know it. God never gave me a daughter because Papa Rockefeller's family has enough women. They needed people to continue the family because Papa Rockefeller was the last person to carry his father's name. He has 1 brother. There's no female sons. and only female sons from women. But the men, none of them had, the brother from my husband, he doesn't have a son. He has a daughter. And Papa Rockefeller gets 3. So also the lineage of my husband did not continue in Holland. It had to take an African Zambian woman to come and extend their family. So I know that my mother-in-law looks at it like Grace, and now we are like sisters. She's my mother. I look at her just like the way I would look at my own mom. And she spoils me. She always makes me fresh soups. She knows how to make soup, because you know the grandmamas, they make soup the real way, not Rinashli do my your rich dick dash belief the andra can't. Dickant. Yeah. She makes soup for me, and even me, she discovered she likes a sauce from me. You know, the one you make with tomato, onion. You know, the type of sauce you use like for jollof rice. She likes that, so she tells me, make that for me, I will make soup. We even have something now. I eat something from her, she eats something from me. So you might just take your blessings away. Patience is very important. It is very important to be patient, to wait to see what God will do. He doesn't make a mistake. And I remember, I told my mother at first, I said, my mother-in-law is like our grandmother. And if she continue, I will beat her. I told my mama that. I said, I will beat her. I'll deal with her. But my mother told me something. Could sit up, Peter, because you are heavy. Don't sit in any funny way. You won't break the apostles' back, but you know, be firewood. But I remember my mother's words. She said, if I can be very kind to your grandma, I think you can be more kind to your mother-in-law. And for real, she was right. I'll never forget that. No lie, my brothers and sisters. I'll never forget. And I live with it now. I'm grateful to God that He tamed me. Because if you slap her, the future would have been not the same. So to every woman out here, don't compete with your mother-in-law. And to every mother-in-law, the daughter-in-laws that you least expect to be your helpers are the ones that are washing your bodies out here. God will humble you. God will humble you in a way that you cannot believe. The person that you least expect to be kind. And that's why I always tell a lot of men fall in love with their wives. My dad was in love with his wife the most because his mother deserved some good smacking, but she didn't. And that's her house, she could have chased her. No. And was always taking care of her like a daughter-in-law. She lived with my mother. My grandmother lived with my mother for more than 25 years. Yes, in the same house. Can you live that long with your mother-in-law? That even when she had dementia, my mother died and my grandmother didn't even understand. To her, she was still asking people in the funerals, where's my girl? Where's my mother? That's what she started calling my mother. Where's my mother? And that's what broke my father like, oh, she's finally gone. And it was like after my mother went, my grandmother did not stay long with my brothers and sisters. A little while didn't pass. My grandmother died. It was almost like my grandmother said, I am going back home now because she doesn't have a daughter. I only have sons, and this son cannot change my life. And I also love a man like my dad. I love my dad because even when he lost his job, he was going through it. I saw him in his worst times. He would take his clothes because at that point he can't even buy her clothes after my mom died. That was the worst time of his life after. I'll never forget the love. When I saw my grandmother, even at the funeral of my mom, she was wearing the trousers of my dad. And I thought at first it was so funny. But it makes me cry. I just thought he didn't care, but he clothes his ma. He feeds his ma. He has a bed for her. He loves her. I think that's why we are raising sons. And I think no mother feels right that when you raise a child and in the point you need that child, the children turn on you. And of course, parents make mistakes. But that shouldn't be a reason to leave them, to abandon them. So I love men like my dad. I love him so much, and people can laugh at him, but he buried his mother well. And I know that my grandmother knows that her son loved her. And in African homes, of course, it's not normal, but I've seen it. I'm not taking care of somebody with ways of two hearts. No, really. With love and kindness. That's what I mean. There are a lot of people who are getting older. And us, we are not realizing that life is too short. You are not talking to your family. Hello. You've kept grudges. You are unforgiving and willing to work things out. One day you will realize. And I would never be a proud woman if I managed to separate my husband from his mother. And I saw that every woman has the power to convince their husband to love their mother or hate them. I saw it. Because in my time of anger, there was a point where I even said, you know, babe, we are cutting her out. And I don't want her to see my children. And I've seen that my husband will choose me over his family. But that's a blessing, not to be taken advantage of. And because my own mother didn't do that, I will not do that. It also depends on who raised you. And I'm just tired of a generation of women who say, yeah, you don't understand how bad my mother-in-law is. Yeah. There has to be also a point where you grow. You let things go, you forgive. She cannot be completely bad that you cannot have a relationship with her, convincing her not, you cannot see the children, this and that. It's not right. It's not right. And as a woman, I can tell my fellow women, I could have done that. But I think it's also who raised you. After I did that, it just felt so wrong. And then I just came back and my husband would tell you, me, I'm like a 5-year-old. I said, baby, it's not going to happen. The children have to see their grandparents. And it's important for my children to have a relationship with their grandparents. Because I am not a girl that is raised by her own mother. Half of my life is my grandmother who raised me. The reason why my grandmother was staying with my dad, why my mother had to find my grandmother in her house, is because my biological mother walked away because of the trauma from my grandmother. And my grandmother stayed and started taking care of the children. So the same crazy woman, I'll give her respect. Because she's the one that started to help my father before my stepmother came into our lives. So I'm raised by both sides, mother and grandmother. Life has humbled me. And I can tell you that from the grandmother side, she taught me how to cook, how to clean, how to love. And she was loud, but just like her son, a lover of men, strangers, no matter where you came from. And that's why it broke me when I saw my dad in his worst times. And that's why I'm fighting every day. I want to make sure that my father can get back on his feet and be independent again. Because I never want him to go into depression. In his worst times, for somebody who kept every kind of person you can think of, he ended up alone. But at the end of the day, he learned that from his mother. My grandmother was loud, but my mother will tell you, the same grandmother will be loud at my mother and my mom. But my mom, her sister would bring children at our house. And those children will be fed and taken care of by my grandmother. I'm sorry, it's even funny. It's like a shady good story. Should be the one taking care of the children of my mother's sister. But she says she don't like my mama. So my mother let me something. Nobody is perfect and completely good. But there are some people who are worth it, especially if they can put their pride down and apologize. Especially if they can just face the truth and accept. Especially if they can. They don't say sorry in the way you want, but you see in the way they say sorry is what they try to do. You have to thank God. Your mama-in-law does not say sorry to you, but you know she start making you soup. I know it. I said that's her apology, and she's older than me, so by grace, it's okay. And my sisters, I've never regretted. Women, we need to change. Women, we need to change. The one who runs the house is the woman. And men, us women, we can convince you to hate your family. But try reverse that pattern around. You are going to know who you married. If you want to know who you married, see how the way they support their family and don't give a damn about you. When you marry a good woman, they support where you come from more than the way they support where they come from. I speak this as a wife. I'm not married long, but I'm in marriage more than 10 years. Come, let's go. Come, let's go. I want to lock the bike.
White hair, blue.
Peter. Vika did ask me how many. I thought so because I'm not your girlfriend. Here are the keys. Let me lock the drive. Peter. Come out fast and bring the lift, Bened. I'm coming. Let me turn the bike around because our outside here. So we cannot park the bikes on the normal place. I have to park it on the crossover. So let me park it here. People encouraging you to disrespect your mother-in-law, to treat her bad, you better kick those people out. In my language we say osunga mzake saziwika, osunga mzake mairo saziwika. The one to take care of the friend, the brother or sister tomorrow is not known. Don't fight the person that you are actually gonna walk with long. Bine, stop met spelen. Kom op. The battery can stay in because Papa Rockefeller and Apostle, they are going to the clinic. They are going to the under 5. How you call it? Child, that thing where they check the child's weight and they see, because he's 4 years now. We call it consultative bureau here. Not child customer care. Sister John, what do you call that place where you take children for checkup when they are getting vaccines and all of that? Yes, Papa Rockefeller. You see, my mother-in-law is a good man for me. It's supposed to be a woman's job to do that thing, but me, I don't like injection and I don't like where they are doing checkups for my children because I believe God has given me fearfully and wonderfully made children. So my brain could not accept it when they are trying to, inspectioning the children and they are saying what they feel. You don't feel like I just want to cross over, slap the doctor, tell them, look, so you have been so klein met een grote mond, It's a small one and it's baggy. So my sisters, yes, not for growth check, Sister Sharon, he's 4 years now. So he's getting probably his last vaccine. So they make sure that you come and bring them for all the checkup. And I thank the Lord, it's not me who does that. Even the injection, Papa Rockefeller is the one who stays in the room because I cannot stand to see somebody giving my children injection, my sisters. Because even me, my own self, when I had to get injection, I ran away. I tell the doctor, I said, I'm coming. I never go to the toilet. That's why your father knows their daughter. Me, I will tell after my papa say, going for injection and malaria. In the middle of the night, 4 o'clock, we are in China. I'm supposed to be getting injection. See me thinking I'm smarter than my father. I said I'm coming, let me go and pee. But my father knows that I'm about to come out. Just find him outside on the hook, waiting for me. I went out. So my sisters, that's what I wanted to share. And then to all the mother-in-laws who have inappropriate relationships like that one. Also, mother-in-laws should not be too close with their sons-in-law. Mother-in-laws should not be like cousins and boyfriend and girlfriends with their sons-in-laws. The same with daughter-in-laws should not be with their father-in-laws like buddies. There's a very big line and there's a very big boundary that God has created, and I think both sides need to be obeyed. If you want to go and see what I'm talking about inappropriate, go and watch what is called Smothered. It's a sick program of how mothers that were not supposed to be mothers, they gave birth to a child and they play with it like a Barbie doll, and even in old age they want to still play Barbie doll. A good mother lets her son go, and you have to back out, and a good son has to also respect and love their mother. Let me carry the go. I'll see you people. May God bless all of you. I'll see you later. Let me get in back.